Before I start my breakfast, I just want to get a little raw here. And I just want to share a little OG talk with you. Now, some of you from back in the day are going to understand what I'm saying. Maybe some of you young heads too, because you probably got a little knowledge from your elders. So you're going to understand what I'm saying. This is about the original conversation, okay? The original conversation that you're going to have with your partner. Now, I believe one of the major mistakes that people have in regards to the breakdown of long-term relationships is that people forget what the original conversation was. They forget what the original conversation that was had, what information was shared, and they kind of take advantage of it. They either have selective memory in regards to the information that was shared. I don't know, maybe they're thinking that things have changed, and that the opinions have changed, and that the mindset has changed, and they decide to act accordingly, and that caused some rifts in the relationship. So let me tell you how I feel in regards to that. I have learned over time the best thing you could do in regards to relationship. You and your partner have been together for a while and decided you're going to make this an exclusive thing. Once you have come to that realization of you and you decide to become the exclusive and you having that conversation, put your cards on the table and say, okay, this is what I am and this is what you're choosing to deal with on an exclusive basis. Let them know what your intentions are and stick with that shit. Okay? Let them know what you feel and why you feel that way, whether it's from childhood situations, religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, whatever the case may be, and let them know what you want and stick with it. Okay? Understand that situations may change and life occurrences may happen or whatever the case may be. But from this point on, the two of you are going to be together as a cohesive unit working as a partnership. So whatever changes may occur, the two of you are going to be going through it together anyway. So you're going to endure that together. But when you have this conversation, you both need to have full disclosure as to what you want. This is not the time to be putting out these little catchphrases and euphemisms and little, little common society phrase. No, you need to speak from the heart. Say exactly what you feel and what you want in the long term. You need to speak about what you want family-wise, what you want financially, what you're looking for, what you desire from that person. This is the opportunity for full disclosure at this point before it goes any further. And it's decision time for the other person to say yay or nay before you go in any deeper. Or else you're going to look up 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. What's going to happen is you're going to either be revisiting this conversation with no result again, or you're going to wind up splitting up. One of the two. Either way, it's not going to be good because it's not going to be any progress. You have to have goals in relationships. That's just the way it happens. The animals get it. They have goals when they do things every day. So I say this to say this. The original conversation, you have to stick with your goals. Let's say that you're a religious person, okay? And let's say that that particular denomination or belief that you have certain ideas in regards to your sexual habits, and the person that you're involved with is a little bit different. You need to discuss these things with that person once you become exclusive. What kind of adjustments are you going to make, if any? Is it going to be a compromise? Is one going to go one way or the other? How are you going to get along this way going further now that you are exclusive? Because if you don't have this conversation, one of you is either going to stray or abstain sexually, and that's going to break down the relationship. That's going to be a problem. Commitment. Does one of you have an issue with being committed? Does one of you want to get married eventually? Does the other one have no intention of getting married at all? Or do they just want to be involved in a relationship where marriage is not the ultimate goal? Or let's just see in a few years. Do you want to have this conversation again in a few years, or do you want to be married in a few years? This is something that you need to keep in mind. Because if you already know in your mind in the next few years that it's going to be a problem, why wait a few years from now if you already know now it's going to be a problem? You're already anticipating the inevitable. See, sometimes people will turn around, they will go along to get along. And going along to get along can be a very dangerous thing, people. Because what they're doing is they're agreeing and they're going along and in hopes in the back of their mind that you will change your mind. Excuse me. Deep down, they're not taking you seriously. Oh, they hear the seriousness in your voice and they hear your commitment today, the 30th of March, 2023, the time that I record this. And I know you're going to be hearing this much later. But 5 years from that date, when the question comes up again, they're hoping that you've changed your mind. And they're looking at you like a deer in the headlights as to why you're bringing it up again. Because they thought that at the time that you brought it up back in 2023, they had already had it in their mind that you were going to forget about it. And they're wondering why you brought it up again. No. See, they had it in their mind then that they were going to change your mind. But see, they didn't change your mind. So now they're sitting up here 5 years later wondering, uh-oh, she didn't change her mind. Uh-oh, he didn't change his mind. My plan didn't work. Nah, motherfucker, your plan didn't work. No, that person's been still thinking about it for the past 5 years. No, she was still thinking about kids for the past 10 years. Still watching you every single day for the past 10 years. No, for the past 7 years, he was still waiting for you to get your degree. No, for the past 15 years, she was still waiting for you to get a decent paying job and some benefits. Am I saying that's the right thing to do to wait that long? That's up to you. No, she was still waiting for the past 25 years for you to put the drugs down, to put down the alcohol. She's still been waiting for every single day for you to do it. She hasn't stopped waiting for you to do it. She still hasn't forgotten that she wanted you to do it. But your silly behind has figured just because they didn't bring it up every single day that they forgot. When are you people going to understand? Just because a person doesn't mention something every single day does not mean they've forgotten about it. They're waiting for you to do something about it. And they're watching the clock in the meantime. Watching for the clock to tick away. Watching for time to run out. So now it's that time and they're asking the question. And you have the audacity to stand there with a fake look of shock on your face. You knew this time was coming. And you knew the question was going to be asked. So what's your answer? For some of you, the clock doesn't even run out before that person's decision is made for them. Sometimes another opportunity comes along before the clock runs out. And oh boy, that's another situation to discuss in another audio. So I say this to say this. When somebody takes the time to give full disclosure in the beginning of what they want, that's a big fucking deal because a lot of people don't do that. That takes a lot of integrity. It really does. Because there's a world full of very dishonest, very jaded, very dark people. People who don't know themselves enough and don't want to even give themselves enough to someone to even tell anybody what they want of their life, of their future, let alone give themselves to someone. That involves respect. So the least that you could do is take that into consideration. Be honest from the get-go. If it's not your cup of tea, be honest and move on and make room for someone who can give this person what they want. Don't waste their time, because you're only going to lose in the end. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace.